Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Sunday, July 13th, the final day before the MLB All-Star break. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Experts tab, pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. I also wanted to mention it's now mid-July. It's time for our annual Christmas in July sale. All of our cappers will have various sales for their products, but for me, it's my yearly package that goes $500 off the normal price in July only, and this is the best time to get it. It's also the best product that I have available because you get the best bang for your buck. You get every single play across every single sport that I release as a premium selection. You just look in the last 12 months alone, our results have been excellent. Over 59 units if you look at it from a unit perspective, or $5,900 of profit for a $100 better, $59,000 for a $1,000 per game better. So looking for another great year. We had unbelievable seasons in college hoops and the NBA. Of course, last year Major League Baseball we were top 5 on the website. A little bit of a slower first half of the season in baseball, but ready to get going after the All-Star break, and we heated up in June and so far in July. So check out that yearly package of Pick Dawgz Premium. Let's get into the games for Sunday Major League Baseball. First up, it's the Yankees and the Cubs. We've got Shota Imanaga and Will Warren as the starters. Now, Imanaga's pitched really well overall this season, especially on the road with a 1.34 ERA. However, in his first few games back from the injury, we've seen him not really miss a ton of bats. Just one strikeout his last game against the Minnesota Twins through 6 innings. And he has faced a pretty weak strength of schedule as well in these first 3 games back from injury. The Cardinals, the Guardians, who I've mentioned could be the worst lineup in baseball against lefties, and the Minnesota Twins. Now you face the New York Yankees. A Yankees team has gotten going offensively in their last couple of series after a pretty extended slump. And you're facing a Yankees team overall this season's got great numbers against lefties. They've done so in the last 30 days as well. I worry about Imanaga a bit in this game, and I think Will Warren is a good option for New York. He's been inconsistent at times, and we've seen he's got a 4.7 ERA, but a 5-2 record with a 2.96 ERA at Yankee Stadium. He's coming off a bounce-back start against the Mariners, 5 2/3 of shutout baseball with 4 strikeouts. The Yankees have won 3 of his last 4 games. I'm going to side with the Yankees in this game on the money line in Yankee Stadium. Next up, we've got the Marlins and the Orioles. We've got Yuri Perez and Brandon Young as the starters. Now, Brandon Young, definitely a really good outing in his last game against the Mets. I mean, 5 1/3 innings, 2 runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. You'll take that all day long for a 4 or 5 in this rotation, but I'm still not necessarily convinced, even though that was a promising start. I'm not necessarily convinced that this is a great major league option as a starting pitcher in Brandon Young right now. With the way this season's gone for Baltimore, with the underperformers in the rotation and the injuries that they have to deal with, I think this was kind of a desperation move for the O's to bring up Young, who's not necessarily one of their bigger prospects, and I don't think major league ready. And I just think that when you look at this Marlins team on the other side, you got Yuri Perez, who has been lights out as of late. They've won his last 3 games, 4 of his last 5 games. The Marlins have been one of the best road underdogs this season. I just can't get there with the Orioles in this situation. I got to roll with the Miami Marlins on the money line on the road. Next up, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Boston Red Sox. We got Ryan Pepiot and Brian Bayo as the starters. 2 starting pitchers with pretty similar ERAs. I mean, 3.32 for Pepiot, 3.27 for Bayo. But for me, I think Pepiot's got a lot more upside to his game. I mean, much better strikeout numbers on the season. I know that he's had issues missing both inside and outside the zone, with 6 walks given up his last 2 games, 17 home runs given up on the season. But Brian Bayo, a 3.27 ERA, a 4.34 expected ERA, a full run higher than his current ERA, 4.25 xFIP, 4.37 FIP. The expected numbers and the underlying numbers for Bayo aren't great. So for me, I just think that the Rays are the side here. I know both of these teams have been solid against right-handed pitching in the last month, but I think Pepiot is that much better as a starting pitcher in this game. I trust the Rays bullpen. I'm going to roll Tampa Bay on the money line. Next up, we've got the Rockies and the Reds. We've got Austin Gomber and Nick Martinez as the starters. Now, Gomber and the Rockies, they've lost his last 4 games, and Nick Martinez has not been a profitable option for Cincinnati. He's in miserable form right now. But for me, the difference is the Rockies are getting a nice plus money price. We're not having to lay a lot of juice with Martinez, who just gave up 10 earned runs his last game against the Marlins in a 12-2 blowout loss. And we faded Martinez as a starter very often this year. He had a run where he won 3 straight games as a starter against the Red Sox, Padres, and the Yankees, but the Yankees game was out of the bullpen. But I still can't get there with Cincinnati in this spot, with Martinez's current form. The Reds have not been great against left-handed pitching in the last month. They're well below league average in team OPS, so I think Gomber's matchup is not miserable. He's used to playing in hitter-friendly ballparks. I'm going to roll with the Rockies in this one, plus the 1.5 runs on the run line. Next up, the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers. We've got Logan Gilbert and Jack Flaherty as the starters. Now, I know Gilbert did struggle in his last game against the Yankees, but that's a Yankees team that's gotten to him before. They've had pretty good numbers against Gilbert in the past matchups. I think Gilbert is still the much better option in this particular game up against Jack Flaherty. And I think offensively, while the Tigers have definitely put together great numbers against right-handed pitching, I still don't fear their lineup as much as I would the Yankees at Yankee Stadium compared to now the Tigers at Comerica Park, a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. Then you look at the numbers for the past matchups for Gilbert against his current Tigers lineup. 51 plate appearances. Strikeout rate is pretty low compared to other matchups, but a low walk rate, 306 xWOBA is decent. I think Gilbert bounces back with a quality start in this game. I also think his lineup backs him up. I mean, Flaherty's not been putting together great numbers this year, and even though Detroit is the best record in baseball, they've actually lost a majority of Flaherty's starts in 2025, so he's not been a profitable option. I'm going to roll with the Mariners in this one on the money line on the road. Next up, we've got the Guardians and the White Sox. We got Aaron Civale and Joey Cantillo as starters. Now, I know the White Sox have struggled in the first 5 games that Civale's been a starting pitcher since the trade back in the middle of June, but I think this is the best matchup that Civale's had since joining this rotation. I think he picks up his first win as a White Sox up against his former team. He was a member of the Guardians for the very beginning of his career, and I think that you look at Civale in the past meetings with this current Guardians roster, who, by the way, I believe the Guardians have the weakest lineup in the American League, but Civale's got a high strikeout rate, a low walk rate, low expected slugging percentage, and a 143 xWOBA and over 40 plate appearances against his current Guardians lineup. The White Sox have proven to be more competitive against lefties like Cantillo than they've been against righties this season. I don't love this White Sox bullpen. Maybe you take Chicago first 5, but I think the full game's also worth a look. Give me the White Sox on the money line. Next up, we've got the Mets and the Royals. We've got Clay Holmes and Noah Cameron as the starters. Now, this is a situation where I just can't get there with the Mets with the current form of Clay Holmes, who had 3 straight games with 4+ walks, and then his last game, it wasn't the walks that was the problem. It was 7 base hits and 5 earned runs in 5 innings against Baltimore. It ended up being a Mets win, but I don't think they'll rally here. I mean, Noah Cameron's been excellent in his rookie season, and he's also facing a Mets team in the last month, dead last in Major League Baseball in team OPS against lefties. I think the Royals bullpen will be good enough in the end. Give me KC on the money line at Kauffman Stadium. Next up, we've got the Twins and the Pirates. We've got Simeon Woods-Richardson and Mitch Keller as the starters. Now, I've mentioned I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Woods-Richardson in his Twins rotation, but I gotta say, he's been pitching really well as of late. Potentially his best 5-start stretch since really joining the Major League level last year for Minnesota. So I think that Woods-Richardson's a decent option, especially against the Pirates team who's just not been great offensively in 2025 against right-handed pitching. Mitch Keller's pitching well for the Pirates on the other side, but we know they have lost a majority of his games. They don't back him up, whether it's the offense, whether it's the bullpen. I think in a low-scoring game, it benefits the Twins with how good that bullpen is. I'm going to roll Minnesota, a similar game to the first game of the series. Next up, we've got the Rangers and the Astros. We've got Nathan Eovaldi and Hunter Brown as the projected starters. Now, this is a great pitching matchup. These are 2 starting pitchers that have been at the top of their games in 2025. But for me, the difference maker is I think Nathan Eovaldi's in better form. I mean, we've seen his last 2 games, a combined 11 innings of one unearned run baseball, 11 strikeouts in a 6-0 and 13-1 Rangers wins. And part of that, the 6-0, 13-1, the Rangers offense actually showing some signs of life in the last couple of weeks. And I think that they do enough here against Brown, who just gave up 6 runs in his last game, to find a win in this one at a decent price. I'm going to take the Rangers on the money line. Next up, the Nationals and the Brewers. We've got Jake Irvin and Freddie Peralta as the starters. I think this is a lopsided pitching matchup in favor of Milwaukee. I think they take care of business and win this game while covering the run line. I've mentioned Jake Irvin. At the beginning of the season, he had decent numbers, but a steep expected ERA. Now that ERA is just below 5 on the year. He's not been pitching well as of late. He's not a great option on the road. You look at his home and road splits this season: 3.69 ERA at Nationals Park, 5.81 on the road in 57 innings. I got to roll Milwaukee and lay the 1.5 runs. Next up, we've got the Braves and the Cardinals. No official starter right now for Atlanta, but Sonny Gray going for St. Louis. Not my favorite game on the board. I mean, Sonny Gray's been pitching really well at Busch Stadium this season, but he's got pretty bad numbers against his current Braves lineup in about 90 plate appearances. Good strikeout rate, decent, low walk rate, but a .519 expected slugging percentage. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of home runs or extra base hits from the Braves early in this game, but with that being said, I still think Gray's going to be the better option as a starting pitcher in this game. I don't love backing Atlanta on the road this year, that's for sure. So I will side with the Cardinals, but I think there's better games on the board. Next up, we've got the Dodgers and the Giants. We've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Robbie Ray as the starters. It's a great pitching matchup on paper, but Yamamoto's not necessarily in the best form right now. You take out those games against the Rockies and White Sox, who have been the two worst teams in baseball, and you look at his last few games. He gave up 5 runs in the first inning against the Brewers. His last start, 9-1 loss there. Gave up 3 runs in 6 1/3 against the Padres, so quality start, but still not good enough for the win, and a loss to San Diego. And then before that, against the San Francisco Giants, 5 earned runs. He gave up, I believe, a couple of home runs in that game. 5 walks to go with it. 6-2 Giants win. You got Robbie Ray on the other side, who's been one of the most profitable pitchers in baseball. When I'm talking about profitability, I'm talking about money line wins with that starting pitcher on the mound. I mean, the Giants have won a ton of Robbie Ray starts this year, including his last 2, 3 of his last 4, and 5 of his last 7. So I got to roll with San Francisco in this one on the money line at Oracle Park. Next up, the Blue Jays and the Athletics. We've got Jose Barrios and Jeffrey Springs as the starters. Now, Barrios has pitched really well this year. He's been sharp on the road as well. He had a great outing against these A's back at the Rogers Center earlier in the season. But you look at his underlying numbers. Barrios does have a pretty steep expected ERA. The average exit velocity, barrel percentage, hard hit percentage aren't great. They're a little bit below league average. So honestly, I don't necessarily think it's going to be a perfect outing for Barrios. I wouldn't be surprised if he got into some trouble in the very hitter-friendly ballpark in Sacramento. But I am still going to side with Toronto at the end of the day. I think Springs struggles as well. I mean, this is a Blue Jays team that crushed him earlier in the year in that same series at the Rogers Center. He gave up in just 2 innings 6 earned runs and a home run in an 11-7 loss. There was also 6 walks given up in that game. Now, Springs is in much better form since then. He had a 2.9 ERA in June. He's pitched so well in so far in July, but I still think that the Blue Jays will find a way to win this game, but this is one that I'd be careful with. I'm staying away from it. Next up, we've got the Angels and the Diamondbacks. We've got Merrill Kelly and Jose Soriano as the starters. Now, I've talked about how I don't really love Soriano's current form, and while I think he's a great option in this Angels rotation, the fact that he's given up 13 earned runs, 7 walks, and 12 base hits in his last 8 home innings against the Rangers and the Nationals, that was a 13-1 and 15-9 Angels loss. I worry about Soriano in this game. This is a tough Diamondbacks lineup against right-handed pitching. They've crushed them all season long. Kelly is coming off a little bit of an injury scare, but it does look to be pretty minor. He's pitched well so far this year, a 3.41 ERA. I think that he gets the run support, and I think the Diamondbacks win this game on the road. Soriano should be able to get back to form. I still think he's a great option in this rotation, but right now, and we saw this last year, struggling at Angel Stadium, I got to fade him. And the final game we're to talk about for the Sunday card. No Sunday Night Baseball this week because of the All-Star break, but this one 4:10 Eastern. It's the Phillies and the Padres. Christopher Sanchez and Nick Pivetta are your starters. Now, first of all, I expect a fired-up effort for Christopher Sanchez if it still remains the case that he is not sent to the National League All-Star team, especially when the National League or Major League Baseball announced that Jacob Misiorowski is going to the team instead. Listen, Misiorowski's been unbelievable in his first few games at the Major League level, but he has had a very, very small sample size. I might even say the smallest sample size for any pitcher, starting pitcher, to be sent to the National League or American League All-Star team when you got Christopher Sanchez, who has got a 7-2 record, a 2.59 ERA, 116 strikeouts, his 15th best in baseball, top 25 in WHIP, in 107.2 innings this year, 107.2 innings. He's been a winning machine for Philadelphia, and beyond that 7-2 record, they've won a lot of his games this year. Against this Padres team, it's been dreadful against lefties. I look for a really good outing for Sanchez, and I think that the Phillies can get to Pivetta for a few runs. I lean towards the under. I'm also going to take the Phillies on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, including that yearly package on the Christmas and July sale, you can find those under the Experts tab at pickdawgz.com. There is also a link in the description. I won't see you again till Thursday night for Friday's games as we have the MLB All-Star break. Enjoy it, take care, and I'll see you then. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.